Did you know that sitting for extended periods of time can be bad for your personal health? According to global studies, on average, we sit for about 7.7 hours a day. Now that's crazy, right? But let's be honest, I know it's not ideal. But put your hand up if you're actually going to stand up while you work all day tomorrow, and the next day for that matter. No hands up? Well, we know that it's not good for us, but we still let it continue. Let me try this idea in another context. If someone was being discriminated for being a certain color or ethnicity, would you stand up? Or would you sit down? The point that I'm trying to make is that we as Kiwis know what is right and what is wrong. But the question is, when will we have the courage to stand up for what is right? Because standing up to racism, that's us. To the stunning judges, to my fellow speakers, and to you. In 1856, Dr. Isaac Featherston said, "The Maoris are dying out, and nothing can save them. Our plain duty as good, compassionate colonists is to smooth down their dying pillar. Then, history will have nothing to reproach us with." Now this comment is typical of sentiments at the time. Hashtag paternal colonizer versus hashtag noble native. Colonizers and missionaries alike believed in their aristocracy or their upper class. They made the mistaken assumption that their technology, their Christian belief system, and their international trade networks somehow made them more cultured and developed than the fierce Māori savages they encountered when they arrived here. Their disdain feathered the nest of their perceived superiority. They discounted our culture, our traditions, our histories, our beliefs, our customs, and our language. And in doing so, they completely overlooked any substantive role our mātauranga, or knowledge, might have had in the shaping and growing of our nation. Now, through this separation, the two cultures never fully teamed up to bring out the best for our country. And adding in all the other ethnicities throughout the longevity of time made the issue of race unity much more complex. At the end of it all, I think we need to remind ourselves who we are as New Zealanders. What makes us Kiwi? Now, I believe being Kiwi only requires 3 ingredients: kindness, loyalty, and humility. And after that, just like any good chef, we can add whatever we have as individuals. For example, I would add a cup of Māoritanga, a tablespoon of Latino, a dash of well-defined muscles, and a sprinkle of good looks to make my version of the same pavlova cake. We are all the same, but all unique at the same time. Our unity empowers us, but our diversity strengthens us. Now, I also believe that being Kiwi is seen in the day-to-day stuff. It means flicking on the kiro and opening up the homemade biscuits when a visitor arrives. It means pulling over to help out the car that is broken down on the side of the road. It means calling a stranger, "Kaze," with your eyebrows raised while you walk past on the street. It's unity through kindness, loyalty, and humility. That is what spins the wheels of our humble little country. Now, according to the 2017 World Happiness Report, New Zealand is the 8th happiest country to live in the world. Wellington City is the #1 city to live in the world. Now, these aren't purely by accident. These Kiwi values that have inadvertently been handed down from generation to generation is exactly why New Zealand's lands are fertile for race harmony, the coming together of all Kiwis. Now, in saying this, we need to address the taniwha in the room, and that's not you, Kranirere, sorry. How can we start meaningful conversations about the realities of racism? Well, firstly, we need to confront our own racial bias. If you've ever used racial slurs like karimancha, bunga, or hori, then you're purely discriminating on race. And you need to check yourself, or at least try and unpick it, and find out why you might hold that racial bias. The first meaningful conversation starts with conversing with our own thoughts and emotions towards racism. As a wise man once said, Mahatma Gandhi, if you want to change the world, start with yourself. Now, to better understand different cultures' points of view on things, we can use the walk in my shoes ideal, where we can try and empathize and understand different cultures' points of view on things by exploring the things that make a Maori or Indian who they are, by journeying beyond the borders of our own cultures. American speaker and author Byron Katie explains it perfectly by saying, "Until the mind is open, the heart stays closed. The open mind is key to the open heart." And finally, what practical steps can we take to stand up to racism? Well, for us being Kiwi, the practical steps we can take is the day-to-day stuff. If your mate makes a racial slur, you confront him or her. If someone is being racially teased, you say to the others, "Stop it, please. I know they're bad, it's one more, just one more." And finally, if someone is down because of racial words, we make sure that we turn that frown upside down. Sorry. You see, what colonizers and missionaries alike failed to understand is that while their culture was perhaps more evolved than ours, it did not make them better than us or more superior. It just made our offering different. Had the relationship been more mutually beneficial from the outset, who knows what boundaries of knowledge and understanding we could have together redefined. Let us not let these same boundaries prevent us from being the best we can be. There's an old Māori proverb that goes, "Tamatū tamaura, tamanoho tamamate." The person who takes a stand will make a change. The person who does not, will not. We as Kiwis need to take a stand for what we believe in, these Kiwi values that have been given to us from our ancestors. Kindness, loyalty, and humility. We need to put these into practice into day-to-day life, the Kiwi way. And remember, when we sit, we die. When we stand, we live. Standing up to racism. That's you. That's me. That's us. Kia ora.